All right, so I know a lot of you guys are interested in the Megasquirt plug-and plays for E36s. So today we're gonna go through the basics of setting this up. We have a brand new turbo build with Chris Sadowski. I'm gonna link to his channel and you guys can actually look at the mechanical aspect of it. He's got a bunch of videos building all this stuff, but looks pretty clean. Want to give like a 10-second rundown of like what you got going on?
Yeah, so it's pretty much bone stock M52 B28, like 174,000 miles on it. Pretty darn healthy, using a Pulsar G3660 turbo, a Jack Spania / RSI / whoever else copies the same turbo manifold, and then everything else is custom. We're using Pulsar 45mm wastegate, Pulsar blow-off valve, Pulsar intercooler. It was a big old package deal. Stock clutch fan, but other than that, we got a 3-port Mac valve, and then just a bunch of custom stuff, custom piping, catch can, just to try and help things breathe a bit. We did the M50 manifold swap to help get some, peak horsepower and help it breathe with the boost.
Yep.
But otherwise, just made things work.
So when you guys order these plug-and-play Megasquirts, they are plug-and-play, so they literally just plug into the stock where the stock computer goes. Really, the only thing I recommend changing out is the GM IAT sensor. It's a pretty common part. You can get the AC Delco part, and then it wires into where the factory two-wire would be. So, yep.
It spliced right in. So,
yep.
Ground to ground, power to power.
And then there is like an expansion plug on the back of the ECU where you can plug in or wire in your Mac valve.
And your wideband.
Wideband has to go in there, and then flex fuel sensor if you're going to do that too. So we'll do that eventually. But other than that, yeah, fresh build. I'm going to run you guys through some of the ECU setup stuff, and then we'll try to fire it up.
Yeah, and then one thing that I didn't find info on is that auxiliary plug for the back of the ECU. So the wiring schematics between the Megasquirt and some of the parts that I use, like the AEM Yugo wideband, they chase tail because the EFI Analytics website kind of tells you to check the ECU's diagram, but then the ECU's diagram isn't very well labeled. So assuming Mike and I are both correct in our assumption, we can throw some screenshots up to show you, but the Mac valve goes on to your basically pin 1 or 2, which is like high input, something like that. And then your wideband is going to go to your EGO pin, which is labeled, but the ground essentially for it, the negative, we believe it goes to sensor return, which will be pin 20. We'll find out here in a few minutes when we load up the ECU, but assuming that's all correct, make note of that because it's not a lot of info on that on the internet.
Cool. I think for now, if we can, I think we should bypass the Mac valve. I always tell customers to do that and just run wastegate pressure, but I don't know how doable that is.
I guess on the ECU, you would just check it on or off, right?
Yeah, leave it off for now and then make sure it's running our spring pressure and kind of go from there.
Make sure we set a boost cut beforehand in case
set all the safeties first. I'll make sure that's set up. So really the only thing we're trying to do right now is get some injector data. So we have some Dishwork 650s. So when you load up Tuner Studio for the first time and download the base map, if you see this required fuel, this is where you're gonna set up your engine size is most important and the injector flow rate. So those are the two main pieces and it calculates your required fuel. So that's an absolute must. And then when we actually connect it to the ECU, we're gonna go to tools and calibrate our TPS, our map sensor, battery, and these thermistor tables, which we have the GM IAT sensor. So we're gonna go up here, IAT sensor, and then just choose the GM. And that's it for that. Before your very first startup, you want to verify that all the sensors are looking correct, even when the car is off, just ambient temperature wise. And so ECU's on, the base map loaded, and you want to look at your map sensor, make sure it's reading around 100 kPa, which is normal air pressure before vacuum, and then making sure that your coolant and air temp sensors match because the motor hasn't been run yet. And that's pretty much it. So we do have to calibrate the TPS because it's reading like -3, so we'll do that in a second as well. All right, so now we're gonna calibrate the TPS. So what we're gonna do is come up to tools and calibrate TPS. And he's not pressing the throttle right now, so we're gonna get the current value for that. And then I'm gonna tell him to go full throttle.
Right now?
Yep, hit it, hold it all the way down for a sec. Okay, then you do get current for that. And that's all good.
All right, are we ready to try?
Yeah, we could try it out.
Yeah, prime. Well, is my fuse still out? Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna prime, get some oil in the turbo really quick, check for fuel injector leaks and stuff.
Okay. All right, so we got RPM signal, that's good. Was trying to do something.
You think that might be enough?
I usually leave this line cracked until you start seeing oil come through it,
Oh.
but it's up to you.
It's fine, it's hooked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fitting's acting kind of weird. Not the threads, but like it feels like they got sand in it.
But
You got the relay hooked up?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep. Look at that, first try.
Oh, it does need coolant.
What was that?
It needs coolant, I forgot.
Oh, okay. Dude, it fired right up though. That's sick. Hell yeah. All right, so we forgot to calibrate the wideband, so I just had to come up here to tools and calibrate AFR table, make sure we had the right one selected. And then now we have the auto tune feature, so the analyze live, and then you hit this little auto tune button and it's starting to do its correction. So that's where it's at right now, idling. So we're targeting 14.7, so it's going to be adding a little bit of fuel here until it reaches its target. And pretty much we're going to have to just drive around and hit as many cells as we can, and then just let it do its thing. But so the other thing I like to set before we go for first drive is under boost control settings, turn on the overboost protection, and then you're gonna set your max there. I usually do both spark and fuel cut just to be safe. And then, of course, make sure your rev limiter is set appropriately as well. So, should be it. We got some road tuning in. I should probably film like a little bit of video because it's making some jam now. So, we're making sure that the wastegate is opening at like 5-6 pounds, and it is, so we're good there. Fuel table is getting there. I think we're gonna do probably a little bit more testing with it, and then maybe turn on the boost controller and then start to ramp in the boost. But it already feels really good, really strong, super smooth, and Chris is happy with it so far. Yeah. Yeah, so Chris usually turbos like a lot of 4-cylinder motors and is used to it, so the straight
from Hondas
6
and like Miatas and stuff. So
Yeah.
coming from like a boosted Miata where like 12 pounds, you're at like 220 wheel.
Yeah.
To 5 pounds, and I'm probably in the 300, 320 range right now. Like, it feels so sick. I can't wait to get it on the dyno to see what numbers are. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care about numbers. Anywhere between 3 and 350, I'm just like, ooh.
I feel like when we get on the dyno, we might have to like turn it down because
Yeah.
I don't know, butt dyno wise, it feels like it's close to 400. I don't know. There's just a lot of torque.
Yeah.
A lot of torque.
And it's just so smooth. Like, the way the boost rolls in so quick, like 2,500 RPM, you throttle in a bit, and you're already getting kicked back.
Yeah.
And it's just...
So we have fuel corrections turned off because we're dialing it in through the auto tune. But once we turn like real-time corrections back on, drivability will be even better and make up for any like real-time events. You can dial in a fuel table as much as you want, but real world scenarios, you're not going to catch everything. So environments change, driving habits change, all kinds of different things. So
Yeah. it's holding up so far. Everything's doing its job.
Yep. So of course I didn't get any filming when it was still light outside,
Yeah.
but we're doing some street pulls now. We turned on the wastegate control. I have it set to 5% duty cycle just to see how it does. But it took a while to figure out the Mac valve settings. So I'll have to share those with you guys once we're done here, because it took a bit of tinkering, but it's working now. Okay, getting there. Okay, so I could probably turn it up, I don't know, like a couple percent. So we'll do like 8%. What do you want at, like 8 PSI?
That's plenty.
Okay.
I mean, the 5 is already fast.
Yeah, yeah.
8's gonna be just crazy for me. I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, bro, it's so slow still."
No, it's in the car.
This is the fastest car I've personally owned,
Yeah.
so I'm already geeking.
Yeah, in the car it feels good.
I guess wait for this car. I don't want to scare him.
Yeah. So we got the auto tune going still, and then we're also dialing in the boost controller too at the same time.
That was 6.
Okay. I might have to turn it up a little bit more. Alright, try that. Okay, so going down is really up. So
It's like reversed.
yeah, what the hell is going on here? So just to finish things off with this video, we tried to turn on the actual boost control and make sure his Mac valve or Mac solenoid was working. And we could not get the thing to oscillate properly for any kind of boost control. So we ended up going to this output test mode, and his was assigned to the high current pin 1, and we just enabled test mode. I'm not connected to the car right now, that's why it's disabled, but so you can also set the pulse frequency here of how fast you want it to oscillate in hertz. So usually these Mac valves will sit between like 26 and 39 hertz, but anytime we would try to go higher than 11 or 13 hertz, the actual Mac valve, you could hear it, it would just stop working. So we think that's possibly defective. So yeah, not ideal. And then we thought the output polarity was wrong here. There's a inverted versus regular normal mode. We thought it was that, and it wasn't. So we're not really sure. So we're gonna investigate that, and I'll probably do another video of turning up the boost and doing some final tuning stuff. But overall, if you guys are looking to boost your E36, I still think the Megasquirt plug-and-play MS3Pro is the go-to solution at the moment. We're also going to be implementing a lot of extra safeties, even though we did turn some of the safeties on so far. And then probably doing flex fuel and stuff down the road. So this is just the first video of the series. I know you guys were pretty interested in these ECUs to see how the setup stuff works. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.